Hello YouTube, Charles the Redneck Nerd coming at you with another video. This time, well, again, it's in the parking lot waiting on Susan to get out from her physical therapy, but I have anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, so I thought I'd make one. Today we're not going to be talking about knives again because, well, I'm sitting in a parking lot and holding up knives the whole time talking to my cell phone is liable to cause some of the normal everyday citizens, even though I'm legally allowed to do so, to freak. And that comes to the point I'm going to make about carrying knives, guns, whatever you're legally allowed to carry in your area. Everything I carry is hidden. It's in a pocket if it's a folding knife, with the only little clip that hangs on your pocket visible. My belt knife completely hidden under an untucked shirt. I am 6'5". I get extra tall shirts just to make certain they come down long enough so that a 5-inch bladed knife in a standard sheath, none of it's visible under my shirt. Luckily, since I have a 50-inch chest and a 36 to 38-inch waist, there's enough drape down the sides that I can carry it. Nobody's the wiser. Also on my belt, I have an extra magazine for my handgun I'm normally going to be carrying out in public, and a flashlight, a pretty good sized flashlight. So that's what I normally carry on me every time I go out. It's all hidden. You can't see it. We have open carry in Arkansas. I can legally carry a knife of basically whatever size I want. If I want to carry a case buoy, carry it. If I want to carry my Work Tough Gear buoy, Puzon Wilderness buoy, I can carry it. But I normally go with smaller belt knives. And my gun is never visible. Now, up until just about 2 or 3 years ago, I carried a full-sized Springfield Armory XD in .40 cal. Big gun. 32 ounces unloaded, about 40 ounces loaded. But when that became problematic with my back problems, to carry that all day, every day, I moved to a gun that weighs about half that fully loaded. Still got 12 rounds of 9mm on me to protect myself and an extra magazine if something happens where that magazine quits functioning. Trust me, I saw this firsthand when I was in the military, and it was funny. Guy tried to slide out across his seat because he couldn't get the door open, his driver's door open, so he had to slide out. And as he was sliding across the seat, that little detachable magazine plate popped off his .45. Well, once that popped off, guess what? He had an awesome single-shot pistol. If he hadn't had extra magazines on him, he would have been SOL if it was a bad situation where he needed more than one bullet. So I always carry extra ammo. But here's where it gets interesting. I have no decals talking about NRA memberships, what guns I own, what knives I own, anything outdoors like that. Nothing. You say, why? Well, those are magnets for people who think, hey, this dude might have had to leave his gun in the car to go in the doctor's office or the hospital, or he might have a bag of knives in his car. They break in, they steal your stuff. Nothing visible on my truck that shows any of my affiliations. The way I dress, hey, I'm here in a polo shirt, fairly good cargo shorts, not military cargo shorts, actual civilian cargo shorts that you wouldn't feel bad wearing to a church lunch or supper in hot weather outdoors. Why don't I dress with the Bass Pro Shop cap and everything else on me outdoorsy? I'm signaling to everybody around me what I'm doing. Come out dressed all in my old military fatigues or BDUs or whatever. Again, I'm signaling to everybody around me what I'm doing. Now, I can't do the whole gray man thing because I'm 6'5" and 250 pounds. That puts me as a 1%er as far as size goes in the world. 99% of people are going to be smaller than me. That's why I jokingly call myself the Southern Sasquatch. Because, hey, basically I am compared to most people. The average height of a person in the United States is 5'9" and 165 pounds for a male. Average size worldwide is 5'7" and 150 pounds. 6'5" and 250 is so far outside the average that I stand out. So to make myself stand out less, I'm not going to dress tactically. I may think tactically. I may be thinking strategically even with my head on a swivel as I sit here in the car looking in the mirrors. And I'll do that constantly even when I'm driving. I will constantly be going from mirror to straight ahead to mirror to straight ahead to mirror like that. Because I want to know everything that's around me at all times. Situational awareness will solve more of my problems than my gun, my knives, or anything else. Just being aware of my situation. Then I also listen to that little instinctive feeling, that gut feeling that something's not right. We all get it. And especially if you spent any time in the military and honed that instinct, well, it's almost like a sixth sense. You know that the situation may not be right, so you can get up, leave, and avoid it. Now, nothing may happen. Most times it probably won't. But on those occasions when it does, you're better off having left. I can tell you most times what people might possibly be up to no good. I can tell you who's creeping on kids. I can tell you who's creeping on women. I can tell you all of these things just by me observing. Humans are social animals. We give off cues when something's right and something's not right. The way you carry yourself by head up, looking around constantly, will solve more problems than anything else you do. Because criminals are predators. Predators aren't going to go after the elephant or the water buffalo that is prepared for it. They go after the sick, the weak, the injured, and the unobservant. Crocodiles do. Watch some of those wildlife videos. Antelope, sheep, wildebeest come down, drink. Crocodile been laying there hiding. They don't observe it because he's not moving. He reaches up, snatches them by the head, and next thing they know, they're on their way to being crocodile dung. Human predators are the same way. They're not going to confront anybody who even looks like they might have a chance to harm them, because their goal is not to have to harm you in most instances, but their biggest goal is they don't want to get harmed. Because if they're hurt, it makes it more likely they get caught, they go to jail. So if you look like you know what you're doing, if you look like you're observant, if you look like you are ready, they're going to avoid you. They're going to find easier prey. So, in short, I don't dress tactically unless I'm going to do something tactically. If I'm going to go hunting, sure, I'll wear my stuff to go hunting and I will go drive hunting. If I'm going to go hiking or camping or whatever, I will dress appropriately. If I'm going to be out in the city running errands, taking Suzer or myself to doctor's appointments, whatever, just general shopping, I'm going to probably dress like an average middle-class person would dress, just to fit in a little better and just to avoid sticking out like a sore thumb, because I'm already going to stick out. If you've got some giant wandering around Target dressed in tactical gear, open carrying a .45 automatic and a Bowie knife, you're going to stand out. Now, all of that I could legally do in Arkansas, but it's not the smartest thing for me to do. As I've said to friends and relatives, the first time I want a criminal to know I have a gun is when it's pointing at him and I take him at gunpoint and put him on the ground to wait for the police to show up and arrest him and disarm him. That's the first time I want anyone to know I have a gun. Why? Because it gives me a tactical and strategic advantage. It's the element of surprise. It's that they don't know it. And that may give me just enough of an edge to keep myself alive, or one of my loved ones alive, or somebody who I see getting attacked, say a mugging or robbery in public, and I have no choice but to intervene because I'm right there as a witness. So, again, we're going to sum up. Dress appropriately for the occasion. Dress where legally you know what you've got, but everybody else doesn't know what you've got. If you can legally do that, do it. Always do whatever is legal in your area as far as carrying knives, guns. Follow the law 100%. If you ever have to pull a weapon, immediately before you put it up and leave the scene, call the police and report it. Because we live in a society where the first person who reports an incident is usually considered the victim. So if your attacker runs off and calls in and says, hey, there's this guy running around with a gun on so-and-so street, he's dressed like this, guess what? You're now the criminal who committed assault, not the actual person who assaulted you, in the eyes of the law, until you prove otherwise. And if, hey, he just vanishes, no one will ever know that he was the one that attacked you if you hadn't called in and reported it first. That is the advice from Massad Ayoob. That is one of the biggest things he says people do wrong. So don't do the same thing wrong. Now, I've summed up. I've told you my philosophy. Feel free in the comments to tell me if you think I'm wrong or an idiot or whatever. And please like and subscribe. And if you want to, share this. Until next time, we aren't doing the shout outs today because Little Squatch yelled at me when he wasn't able to do them the other day. So, until next time, this is Charles the Redneck Nerd saying, see you later.